Most people won't disappear for 6 months because 6 minutes alone with their own thoughts already scares them. That's the truth. Nobody says out loud. You say you want success. You say you want respect. You say you're tired of being average. But the moment the room gets quiet, the moment the phone stops buzzing, the moment nobody is clapping, liking, commenting, or validating you, you panic. Because without noise, you have to face yourself. And most people don't like what they see. They'd rather stay visible and weak than invisible and building. They'd rather talk about plans than bleed for them. They'd rather post quotes than become one. So let me ask you something, and don't lie to yourself. What would happen if you vanished? Not died, not quit, just disappeared. No updates, no announcements, no big things coming soon. No showing off gym selfies. No telling friends what you're working on. Just silence. 6 months. Could you handle that? Could you handle the loneliness, the doubt, the feeling that nobody notices you anymore? Or do you need the world watching just to keep going? Because here's the harsh reality most people learn too late. The world doesn't respect noise. It respects results. And results are born in isolation. Not on stages, not on stages, not on timelines, not in conversations, but alone. In the dark. When nobody cares. That's where men and women are forged. I learned this the hard way. There was a time in my life when I talked too much. Every dream I had, I shared it. Every goal, I announced it like it was already done. I'm going to get fit. I'm going to get fit. I'm going to build something big. I'm going to change my life. People nodded. Some clapped. Some laughed. And every time I spoke, I felt good for 5 minutes, like I had already accomplished something. But at night, nothing had changed. Same bank account, same body, same excuses, same quiet disappointment when I looked in the mirror. Because talking is cheap dopamine. It tricks your brain into feeling progress without doing the work. And slowly I realized something painful. The more I spoke, the less I did. The more I explained my plans, the less I executed them. I was addicted to being seen trying instead of actually winning. And life punished me for that. Missed opportunities, rejections, watching people I thought were less talented pass me by. That hurts in a way you don't forget. You ever watch someone you secretly judged succeed? Someone you said, he's not that good. And then one day he sees ahead of you. That's sting. That's reality slapping your ego. I remember sitting alone one night, lights off, just staring at the ceiling. No music, no distractions, just my thoughts crawling all over me. And one sentence hit me like a hammer. If nobody believed your words, what proof do you actually have? Silence, because I had none. I had stories, not scars, plans, not results, excuses dressed up as reasons. And that night, I made a decision that scared me more than failure. I stopped talking. I stopped announcing. I stopped explaining myself. I disappeared, not dramatically. No goodbye post. No speeches. I just vanished from the noise. While everyone else was outside chasing attention, I locked myself inside chasing discipline. While they were scrolling, I was working. While they were debating, and I was building. While they were laughing at memes at 2 a.m. I was sweating, studying, grinding, exhausted, half asleep, but still moving. And let me tell you something nobody romanticizes. It wasn't inspiring. It wasn't cinematic. It was ugly, lonely, quiet. There were nights I questioned everything. Nights I wanted to quit so bad, my chest felt heavy. Nights I thought, does this even matter? Does anyone even care? And the answer was brutal. No, nobody cared. And that's exactly why it worked. Because when nobody is watching, you find out who you really are. When there's no applause, discipline is the only thing left. That's where character is built. Not when it's convenient, not when it's trendy, but when it's boring, repetitive, thankless. You wake up early. No one sees it. You study late. No one praises you. You say no to comfort. No one claps. It feels like you're suffering for nothing. But you're not. You're stacking bricks, one by one, invisible bricks. And for months, it looks like you're building nothing. Then one day, there's a wall, then a house, then a fortress. And people show up and say, wow, you're lucky. Lucky. They didn't see the 6 months you cried in silence. They didn't see you fighting sleep to finish one more page. They didn't see you training when your body hurt. They didn't see you doubting yourself and still showing up. They only see the finished product. They never see the construction site. That's why disappearing is powerful, because it removes the temptation to perform. You stop acting productive and start being productive. You stop chasing approval and start chasing standards, your standards. And here's something nobody teaches you. When you're alone long enough, you start having honest conversations with yourself, uncomfortable ones. You realize how much time you wasted, how many excuses you made. How many excuses you made, how often you blamed others, how scared you really were. It's painful. Pain doesn't lie. Pain tells you exactly where you're weak. And if you're brave enough, you fix it day by day. You don't transform overnight. That's fantasy. Real change is slow. It's waking up tired and still going. It's failing and trying again. It's doing the same boring task for the 100th time because you said you would. Discipline isn't intensity, it's consistency. Anyone can go hard for a day. Very few can stay steady for 6 months. That's why disappearing works, because you into consistency. There's no show to put on. Just work, just sweat, just you versus you. And let me warn you, those months will test your mind more than your body. Your mind will whisper things, or relax, a skip today. You deserve a break, a skip today. You deserve a break. No one would notice, and technically, it's your wood. And every time you break a promise to your self-respect drops a little. Not confidence, self-respect. And self-respect is everything. Because when you don't respect yourself, you start negotiating with weakness. You start accepting less, talking smaller, dreaming safer. But when you keep promises to yourself quietly, repeatedly, something changes. You stand straighter. You speak less but mean more. Your eyes look different. There's weight behind your words because you know what you survived. You know the nights nobody saw. That's real confidence, not loud, not arrogant, calm, certain, dangerous, like a storm that doesn't need to announce itself. And then, after months, something beautiful happens. You reappear, not intentionally, not for attention, just naturally. And people notice. Did you lose weight? How did you get so short? When did you learn that? How are you so focused lately? They think it happened fast. They think it was sudden. But you know the truth. It was built in silence, brick by brick, tear by tear. And you smile, not because they finally see you, but because you don't need them to. That's freedom. When validation becomes irrelevant, when results speak so loudly you don't have to say a word, that's power. So if you're tired right now, tired of being overlooked, tired of talking, tired of starting and stopping, good. You're at the perfect point. Because pain is a doorway, walk through it. Disappear, delete the noise, stop announcing, stop explaining, stop seeking approval. Let them wonder where you went. While they wonder, you work. While they gossip, you grow. While they sleep, you build. 6 months, that's all I'm asking. 6 months of ruthless focus. 6 months of uncomfortable discipline. 6 months of choosing long-term respect over short-term comfort. No one owes you belief, earn it. No one owes you belief, earn it. No one owes you applause, deserve it. And when you come back, don't come back louder. Come back stronger, quieter, sharper. Let your results enter the room before you do. Let your work speak your name. And when someone asks you how you did it, just smile, because they wouldn't understand the nights, the loneliness, the battles in your own head. They only see the victory. But you'll remember everything. And that memory, that struggle, that 6 months of silence will be the reason nobody can ever take your confidence away again. So go. Turn the world off. Turn yourself on. And when you return in 26, don't return as a person who tried. Return as proof. Good. Because if you're still here, still listening, still leaning into this silence instead of running back to noise, then you're already different. Most people would have clicked away by now. They don't want truth. They want comfort. And comfort is the most dangerous drug on earth. It doesn't kill you fast. It kills you slowly, softly, quietly, one late morning at a time, one skipped workout at a time, one I'll start tomorrow at a time, until 10 years pass and you wake up staring at a life you don't even recognize. And that's the part nobody prepares you for. Not failure, not struggle. Regret. Regret is heavier than pain. Pain hurts while you're growing. Regret hurts when it's too late to grow. There's nothing worse than sitting in a quiet room at 40, 60, and realizing you had the strength. You had the time. You had the opportunity. But you wasted it trying to be comfortable. I've seen that look in people's eyes. That hollow look. Like a light that never fully turns on. They go to work. They come home. They scroll. They sleep. Repeat. Not living. Just surviving. And the scary part? They didn't plan to end up there. Nobody plans to be average. Nobody wakes up and says, I hope my life is forgettable. It happens slowly. It happens slowly, through small compromises, through tiny acts of weakness you justify. I'm tired. I deserve this. It's not that serious. And those little lies stack up until one day you realize you built a prison with your own hands. That's why disappearing matters. Because when you step away from the world for a while, you finally see the traps. You start noticing how addicted people are to distractions. Everywhere you look, noise, notifications, drama, opinions, everybody talking, nobody building. It's like a marketplace of excuses. And if you're not careful, you get dragged into it. You start comparing, you start chasing, you start performing instead of progressing. But when you go quiet, when you cut the nonsense, something strange happens. Time stretches. Have you noticed that? When you're scrolling, 3 hours disappear like smoke. But when you're working alone in silence, every minute feels real, heavy, present, because you're finally living intentionally. You feel your effort. You feel your breath. You feel the weight of your choices. That's where growth happens. Not in distraction, in awareness. And let me tell you what those 6 months will really test. Not your talent, not your intelligence, your discipline when nobody cares. Can you wake up early when there's no applause? Can you study when your friends are out laughing? Can you train when your body aches and your mind begs you to stop? Can you keep going when there is zero evidence it's working? That's the real battle, because progress doesn't show up quickly. For weeks, you'll look the same, feel the same, sound the same. You'll wonder if it's pointless. You'll think, and maybe I'm not meant for more. That's the moment most people quit. Right there, right before the breakthrough. They stop digging 1 inch before gold. And they convince themselves the goal never existed. Don't be that person. Because here's the truth nobody warned you about. Success is delayed. Pain is immediate. You feel the sacrifice today. You feel the soreness today. You feel the loneliness today. But the reward, that comes later, much later. And if you don't understand that delay, you'll sabotage yourself every time. You'll trade long-term pride for short-term comfort every single time. So you have to train your mind like a soldier. You have to learn to operate without emotional reward. Do the work even when you feel nothing, especially when you feel nothing. That's maturity. That's strength. Maturity. That's strength. Anybody can work when they're inspired. Real ones work when they're numb. I remember days during my own silent season when I didn't feel motivated at all. No fire, no hype, just emptiness. Gray mornings, cold air, alarm ringing, and my body felt like concrete. And I'd sit there on the edge of the bed staring at the floor asking myself, does it even matter? And there was no epic answer, no dramatic music, just a quiet voice saying, stand up anyway. So I stood up, not because I believed, not because I... That's it. And that tiny act, that boring, unimpressive act, repeated hundreds of times, changed my life more than any motivational speech ever could. Because every time you do what you said you would do, you become trustworthy to yourself. And when you trust yourself, fear loses its power. Doubt gets quieter. Hesitation shrinks. You stop asking, can I? You start saying, watch me. Not out loud. Inside. Calm. Certain. Like you already know the ending. That's what these 6 months give you. Give you. Not just results. Identity. You stop being someone who wants things. You become someone who executes. And the world treats those two people very differently. One begs. The other commands. One explains. The other demonstrates. One talks. The other shows. So let me challenge you with something uncomfortable. For the next 6 months, what if nobody clapped for you? What if nobody noticed? What if nobody supported you? Would you still do it? Would you still wake up early? Still grind? Still study? Still build? If the answer is no, then you don't want success. You want attention, and attention fades. But skill, discipline, character, those last forever. Those can't be taken. Nobody can steal the work you've already done. Nobody can erase the nights you survived. That's yours. Forever. And one day, listen carefully. One day you're going to walk into a room, and something will feel different. People will talk to you differently, look at you differently, respect you differently. Not because you demanded it, but because they can feel it. They can feel the weight of your discipline. They can sense you've been through something, like a quiet strength sitting behind your eyes. And they won't even know why they trust you. They just will, because suffering endured privately leaves marks, invisible medals, scars you don't show. But they change how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you move. That's what 6 months buys you, not height, present. And presence is rare, so disappear, not to. But to build yourself, go quiet, Go deep. Let the weak versions of you die in that silence. Let the excuses starve. Let the old habits suffocate. And when you come back unrecognizable. Not because you look different, but because your standards are different. Because now you don't negotiate with weakness. Now you don't need permission. Now you don't chase validation. You simply do the work every day, like breathe. And when 2026 arrives, you won't have to announce anything. No speeches, no explanations. Your life will speak. Your results will speak. Your discipline will speak. And the same people who ignored you, the same people who doubted you, will ask you how you did it. And you'll remember these months. The quiet, the darkness, the lonely mornings, the late nights, the moments you almost quit but didn't. And you'll smile because you'll know something they don't. You didn't rise because you were special. You rose because you stayed when it was hard, because you worked when it was boring, because you disappeared and built a version of yourself nobody could stop. So tonight, when this ends, don't post about it. Don't talk about it. Don't tell anyone your plan. Just start quietly. Lock in. Shut the door. Turn off the world. And for 6 months, become obsessed with earning your own respect. Because when you have that, you don't need anything else. Disappear now. So when you return, you don't have to say a word. They'll already know.